Hi guys, we are going to present our presentation about inquiry-based learning. Our member consists of me, Lista Indriani, Diah Nur Anisa, and Eka Septian. Our first topic is about the definition of inquiry-based learning. Inquiry-based learning is an approach in which students have ownership of their learning. It starts with exploration and questioning and leads to investigation into a worthy question, issue, problem, or idea. It involves asking questions, gathering and analyzing information, making decisions, justifying conclusions, and taking action. The next, the goal of next, the goal of inquiry-based learning. Inquiry-based learning approaches, when correctly implemented, can help develop higher order information literacy and critical thinking skills. They can also develop problem-solving abilities and develop skills for lifelong learning. Teacher's role. The teacher's role is critical in inquiry learning, but the role is different from that for which most teachers have been prepared. The teacher becomes the leader of the learning, or the facilitator of the learning process. Modeling is extremely important for younger learners. Next, student-teacher interaction. Students seek to collaborate and work cooperatively with teacher and peers. They move around, selecting and using the materials they need. Students confer with classmates and teachers about observations and questions. They try out some of their own ideas. Next,
Okay, so the next is student-student interaction. There are 8 parts about student interaction. At first is questioning, second is answering, third, communicate regarding the topic, and fourth, discussion, fifth, investigating about the topic and evidence that they want to build. Sixth is enrich understanding by answering and listening to other student answer. Then seventh, giving feedback. Then the last one is sharing results of the investigation to others' friends. Okay, the next part is views of language and culture. This method is designed to facilitate students to explore more about a knowledge or the topic that has given by the teacher. Student will be asked about a certain topic and build understanding and what's building evidence by themselves. Students are asked to have their opinion about the topic and build the stances of their opinion. View of language here means that the target language is to communicate their ideas, their opinion about the topic that has given by the teacher. Also, target language will be the bridge for their investigation to get more information to support their argument in case they want to read more using the internet or other resource. The target language is also used for students to ask to explore more about the topic. Then, area skill and language. Vocabulary and pronunciation are emphasized since the goal of this method is to encourage students to produce the language by asking, questioning, investigating, and also explaining. It needs a good speaking skill because students are required to talk and to explain their ideas about the topic. But not just spoken language that is emphasized, but also reading and writing, because they will need to find a lot of evidence for supporting their idea and also build their inquiry skill. And sometimes students will also ask to write down their opinion. Then, role of the native language. It's actually the target language is used to communicate during the learning process. The student will be encouraged to speak in the target language. The student will use the target language for all of these activities, such as understanding the topic, building their opinion, building their inquiry skill, investigating regarding the topic, and also sharing the results of their investigation to their classmate. Native language is actually not forbidden during the learning process, but in case that students don't know what is the word in the target language, and the teacher or other student can help by translating words that the student don't know about. Then evaluation. Teacher gives a certain topic for students to discuss and investigate and also share their opinion about the topic. At the end, students are expected to ask and also to find their understanding and build their opinion by finding evidence. And later, after students get their opinion and evidence to support their understanding, they will share it with other friends. The teacher will observe by learning, by asking the students how they are doing and what they are talking about. It's still regarding about the topic. The evaluation will be given by the teacher is an assessment, such as giving a certain topic to the class to talk about. Students will work with themselves and also work in pair or in a group.
Next is the characteristic. 1. Process focus. When students solve problems themselves, they internalize conceptual process. 2. Is investigation. The teacher may pose a problem derived from the class content or students' questions. The students then investigate the issue to find an answer. 3. Group learning. Students may work in pairs or in small groups when exploring a problem. Students assist one another throughout the learning process, which enables them to share and build upon ideas as well as articulate how they arrived at a solution. 4 is discussion monitoring. As the students work as the students work together, the teacher can move from group to group, listening to their discussions, and then the teachers may ask questions to gauge students' understanding and correct any misconception. Next. Next is the 4 forms of inquiry. 1 is confirmation inquiry. Learners are given a question as well as a method to which the end result is already known. 2 is structured inquiry. Learners are given the question and the method of achieving the result, but the goal is to provide an explanation that is already supported by the evidence gathered during and through the investigative process. 3 is guided inquiry. Learners are only given a question. The main goal is to design the method of investigation and then test the question itself. 4 is open inquiry. Learners must form their own questions, design investigative methods, and then carry out the inquiry itself. Next. Next is the advantages. Inquiry-based learning has been used at every level from elementary to university with varying levels of success, but it's easy to see what the advantages. First is greater interest. Let's begin with perhaps the biggest pro. When students are allowed to ask questions and guide the direction of the curriculum, they are going to express more significant interest in the subject matter. 2 is teaches problem solving. At the heart of inquiry-based learning is an inquisition, and not only are students encouraged to ask questions, but they are told to find the answer. 3 enhances teamwork skills. With this teaching style, students are taught to engage with one another, work in groups, and tackle problems together. This leads to greater teamwork skills and something that proves useful in most areas of life. 4 is long-term knowledge retention. Research shows that elaboration at the time of learning, such as fact sharing and conversations, enhance the retrieval of information at a later date. Next. Okay, next is the disadvantages. In theory, inquiry-based learning is a perfect system that maximizes engagement and gives students a chance to extract meaning and purpose from their education. Here are some of the disadvantages associated with this learning style. One is poorer standardized testing performance. When too much time is dedicated to student inquiries, there is always the risk that important core topics could be left out. Naturally, this hurts standardized testing performance, and in a world where standardized exams play a key role in school accreditation and funding, this can become a real problem. Two, students' embarrassment. In inquiry-based learning, students are required to speak up and participate. For the most part, this is a good thing. However, there is also the risk of embarrassing students who may not be quick thinkers or who suffer from learning disabilities and processing issues. 3. Teacher unpreparedness. From certain teachers, inquiry-based learning is too haphazard. It prevents them from being able to prepare properly, which hurts their ability to engage students on a meaningful level. And anytime a teacher is unprepared, the classroom suffers as a result. Clearly, inquiry-based learning isn't a perfect solution. As is the case with any teaching or learning style, there are challenges that must be worked through. Okay, that's all from our group's presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.